So Kat's boyfriend is taking her to Paris for the weekend, and my boyfriend's taking me to a disused quarry.
At your first opportunity, turn around. It's beautiful. Why don't we just find another spot?
I'm not gonna be bullied away by a bunch of 12-year-olds. Hey guys, can you turn your sounds down, please?
Can't hear you, mate.
Steve, where's the beach bag?
It's got the car keys in it. I just want my car back. Car keys, phone, wallet. You've had your fun.
First phone he sees 999. Now we've got to finish this.
Run! Listen to me. Go get help. Go!
I've got to get us out of here. You hold on.
Hey guys, this week on the ReelDVDWatchers I'm reviewing the 2008 movie Eden Lake, which is a sort of horror thriller movie starring Kelly Riley and Michael Fassbender. It also stars Jack O'Connell, who is in TV's The Skins. He's in the new series of The Skins. New series of Skins, sorry. And Thomas Turgoose, who's in like This Is England and Shane Miller's new film Summertown. So, yes, this movie, because it's basically horror thriller sort of type movie set in the UK, of course, and it's about a couple. This girl called Jenny, and she's like a primary school teacher, and she's with her partner Steve, and they go away for a weekend to Eden Lake, which is kind of this really beautiful looking lake that is about to be sort of torn down, well not torn down, but built over and turned into like, I think it's either apartment buildings or a shopping centre or something, or an industrial site, something like that. So, like the weekend before it's being torn down, they decide to go down there and enjoy the beach. But when they get down there, the weekend's kind of ruined by a group of teens. They're sort of about, I think he says they're like 12 or 14 or something like that. But it's a group of teens. Now in the UK, I don't know if you know this in the US, but we tend to refer to these teens as chavs. I don't know if that's like, if anyone, yeah. So you could summarise it saying it's a group of chavs, but it's this group of teens anyway. And so they play all this loud music, and the guy kind of goes over to them and says, "Look, can you turn your music down?" And they basically tell him to fuck off, and so he gets kind of pissed off. And then so that's like their first sort of encounter with these teens. And then basically after that, after they sort of camp out and stuff, they find that their bag's been stolen. They get back to the car's been stolen, and it turns out that the teens nick their car. Now, whilst the guy's arguing, trying to get his keys back for the car and his wallet and things, he accidentally ends up killing sort of the gang's leader's dog, and they're not happy, and they kind of go after him. So it's basically a horror movie in kind of your typical horror fashion. Like you've got two people that are being hunted down by a killer, but in the sense that in a similar way that you have Nightmare on Elm Street, you have like Freddy, and Friday the 13th you have Jason. This movie, the killer is these teens. Now, this is the first point I want to make about this film. This film is touching on an issue in the UK especially that is very, very prominent in the UK at the moment. This is a case, it's a problem in the UK at the moment with these teens, and this movie highlights that point so far that it really is the strongest message of this film is about, the power that these teens have, and it is really, really scary because of that. It's not scary because the film or the storyline is it doesn't make you jump. It's not a film that's going to make you jump out your seat, but it's got this really brooding, really dark feeling, like a really sense of like the whole way through that you're watching this film, you kind of feel this sense of dread. It's kind of it's got this whole sense of dread to it, and it's basically because it's a really, this is a real situation that these. It sounds crazy, but when you're walking, especially at night time, if you're walking alone and you bump into like a gang of teenagers, it really is worrying. You start to panic, and that sense of panic and dread that you get is highlighted in this film. And like I said, there's a really strong message. It's really pushing this message about how dangerous gangs of teens are, and it also goes into like things of peer pressure and stuff. There's one scene in particular which is really probably the most shocking, sort of disturbing scene in the film, where the character Steve, who killed the gang's dog, he ends up being captured by these teens, and they kind of tie him up with this barbed wire and stuff, and I think there's about 5 in this group, and the leader of the gang basically blackmails the others into staying with him and into killing this man by filming them stabbing him. They each take it in turns to stab him, and it's such a disturbing and really horrible scene. This whole movie is just horrible because it really goes into so many issues of like bullying and things that aren't that obvious at first, but then when you think about it, there's so many things that this film touches upon. Like I said, they kind of force these kids into starting stabbing this man, and it's really like a horrible scene because a lot of them really don't want to do it. But the main gang leader, who's played by Jack O'Connell, like I said, who's in the new series of Skins. He's really this overbearing teen, and he really does pressure these kids into doing things. They really, especially the one character played by Thomas Turgoose, who, like I said, was from This Is England. He played Sean in that film, I think. And he really doesn't want to. He does. He's a lot younger than the other, kids in this gang, and he really doesn't want to do it. But they force him into, doing these horrible things to this character named Steve. Overall, this movie is. I definitely recommend this to anyone who likes British horror movies. Like I said, I'm not sure what the situation is like in the US in terms of like gangs of kids, and because it's in the news all the time in the UK about people being stabbed, and it's a horrible subject matter that it's really like I said, it's really pushed in this film. And there's the ending I really don't want to spoil because it kind of has a twist, but the last the film that ends with like an impression that's kind of, it's really hard to describe without giving away, what the ending is, but it leaves you with a very, serious message in a way, I guess, about the situation that we're facing in the UK. Now, I don't want to go in too much into like the whole, talking too much about like gangs and stuff, because people have different views on it, I guess. But it is, like I said, you do hear about these things in the news and stuff, and there's another movie like this, which I really can't remember the name of. I think it's a French movie which also sort of touches upon the same kind of subject. But if you imagine like Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Deliverance, it's kind of a UK equivalent of those types of movie. But yeah, I do recommend this. I'd give it an 8 out of 10, I think. The acting is really good, and yeah, check it out.